Hello and welcome to Say It with Roz. As you can see, I am still in my jammies. Y'all will have to forgive me. I haven't gotten dressed yet. It's the weekend. I usually make my recordings during the week when I'm here by myself. I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but if you do, that's my bass guitar playing husband back there. He's on that guitar. But I was watching something on YouTube this morning as I was fixing breakfast, and it was this guy. I don't even remember his name. It's not important anyway. But he was talking about the two major political parties, Democrats and Republicans. And basically what he was saying was that neither the results of black people voting for either party is the same. The results will be the same. Nothing really changes, especially for, people on the lower, I guess income bracket is probably what he's talking about. So now that might be a fair thing to say. But I think he was probably leaning more towards, the Democratic Party maybe being, the party to go to for black people. Although he did point out several things, about the party, that probably not good. But my thing is, because I see a lot of people on YouTube trying to convince Democrats to move over to the Republican Party, as if that party is going to solve all of their problems, which it won't. And but it just got me to thinking, listening to him, because if that's really true, that nothing ever really changes, which that probably is true. I have not noticed any major changes, in my life. Of course, I've always voted Democrat, but if that's really true, then why is that? I mean, what is the Democratic Party? The Democratic Party is made up of people that are voted into office, and the people that support them. So if the people we're putting in office are not doing the things that we think they should be doing, then whose fault is that? We need to pick the right people, to go into these offices. And we also, and in order to do that, you got to know who you're voting for. I can't stress that enough. enough. Every time I talk about voting, I'm stressing, know who the heck you're voting for and what these people really stand for. Don't go on what Joe Blow says or what Mary Jane says. No. Look up these people. Read up on them. See what they're doing, what they have done in the past. You got to put the right people in office. And who's responsible for that? The voters. So I just think people expect too much from these parties, just in general from the party. Citizens have a responsibility also. We have the responsibility of picking the right people to do the right things and just not sit out and not vote. This guy was saying too that because nothing changes, that is why a lot of people don't vote. Well, duh. Why don't we educate people on the importance of voting and what it means? Why it's important to vote? Explain these different, offices, these elected offices, and the importance of picking the right person to be in there. That's what's going to change things. But if you're just sitting at home, not voting or not caring who you vote for, just vote for whoever so-and-so say vote for, you're going to just keep getting... And if these people know that they're going to be voted out or they're not going to be voted in unless they, can do something substantial. But we can't... But again, I want to stress too that citizens have a part to play too. You can't expect these elected officials to do everything, to just make your lives beautiful all on their own. We have responsibilities also, It's like I don't agree on, I hear some of the leaders, black leaders, sometimes say, or make excuses is what I call it, for, a lot of the crime that goes on in some of the inner city or whatever, if you want to, the hood, neighborhoods, or whatever you want to call it, where it's mostly, where predominantly black people live in there, and probably low incomes, and they blame the crime rate on the fact that, poverty, If people are in poverty, they're going to commit crimes. Well, I don't necessarily agree with that, but now I will say this, because, I don't agree on the level of, people killing each other, because you're in poverty, you're killing folks, for whatever reason. But now I can see if a person is hungry, they don't have any food, they don't have any money, no one is giving them any money, that person might try to steal them some bread to eat, That is, I think, just something anybody would do if they were that hungry, But luckily, you can almost always get some food, from somewhere, But I don't think it's a good reason for people to commit crimes. I really don't. To me, that's an excuse, and that's telling people it's okay, to commit crimes. Why not try to encourage people to not commit crimes, in spite of the circumstances, Tell them where to go to get help, Sometimes I hear there are not enough programs to help these people. What about telling them, encouraging them to migrate to another town, to find employment, to find a better life? Sometimes you have to do that. But I don't think any circumstance should give people the right to rob their neighbors, kill their neighbors, terrorize elderly people, No. And if you're young, get yourself to another town. Go somewhere else and find some work. If you have relatives that live in other parts of the country, contact them and let them know, you want to try to better yourself. Can you come and live with them for a certain amount of, 6 months or 3 months or however long you think it might take you to find employment and get you a little place on your own. There are ways. I grew up poor. We didn't have much of anything, We never, no. I never got in a gang. Of course, things were different, heck, when I was coming up, And I grew up in the country until I was 13 years old, so. But we didn't have a lot. But I didn't go around stealing and none of that. We just did without, My mom and dad is separated, and at one time my mother was working 3 jobs, trying to take care of us. But anyway, I know for a fact that you can move from town to town and, find a better life. Even if you don't have a college education. I don't have a college degree, but things were a little different too, like I say, back then, back in the 80s and 90s. I always got good jobs, and but moving from one town to another, sometimes can significantly increase your salary, but it would be good if you knew somebody that lived there and that you could stay with for a short period of time. So I just think we need to encourage our people more, and educate them more on voting instead of trying to get them to go from one party or another. Now, if they research all of these candidates on both sides and they can see for themselves where they think, one side or the other is better, hey, I say go for it, But, and show them how to research, where to go to find the information on the elections, when the elections are being held, what's required, help them. do a class on it, a free class. We can help each other, people. I'm telling you, and if you're doing good, you're doing great, and you see someone else struggling, and you can help them in some way. It's not always monetarily, you can just guide them, point them in the right direction, Some things we got to do for ourselves. And it's not the Democratic Party that's bad or the Republican Party. It's the people. If anything's wrong with it, it's the people, in charge of these parties, And who's putting people in charge of these parties? Duh. We are. Okay? So, it's just like John F. Kennedy said years and years ago, man, and it was so right, Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. And when you have that kind of attitude, man, it's not, you're not always looking for somebody to do something for you, You're gung-ho and doing something to help the cause yourself. And it's the same thing with the Democratic Party. Stop asking, what are they going to do for me? Blah-de, blah-de, blah. Ask, what can I do for the Democratic Party? Or what can I do for the Republican Party? And if you have the right, hopefully you have the right heart, and that you really do love your fellow man, and you're not full of hate and prejudice, and you're looking at truth, You're just looking to do the right thing, Man, if everybody had that attitude, working, towards making, heck, not just the Democratic Party better, but making our communities better, our towns better, our states better, our country better, you can do something too. So that's my message, and all of you people out there telling people hey, you're gonna see it. I bet you anything. People are gonna be out here trying to tell Democrats they shouldn't vote at all. That Democratic Party ain't done nothing for you. Or you should come over here and vote for these Republicans. Well, what the hell have you done for the Democratic Party? What have you done for yourself? What have you done for your neighbor, your community, your neighborhood, your town, your state, your country? What have you done? Don't let nobody play those games with you. So, think about that. That's it. Until next time, over and out.